guys!
Hey.
It's September. Can you believe it? Time is flying.
No, literally, it's like I always see that post where it's like it went from like June, July, August, September, October,
No,
November, December.
literally dead ass. But anyways, welcome.
Everything comes so quick. For real.
Yeah. Welcome to a new episode of Too Much with Shey
and Becca.
Period. We had a lot of exciting things happen this week, at least for me. I can't wait to give my little minute rundown.
I can't wait to
give
hear
yours. Start us off, Rebecca. Give us your minute rundown for the week.
Yes. So I would say like a lot has happened this week, like you mentioned, but I think a lot has happened for me in the last 2 days specifically.
Okay.
Like on Thursday, yesterday was Thursday. Yeah, yesterday. So on Thursday, I ended up going to the city. I had to go cover a New York Fashion Week event. And your girl has been getting into becoming more of a content creator. Like I have been doing more TikToks on my own because I usually do that stuff for other people, and I never invest in myself. So I started doing that. So, if you ever want to check out my TikTok along with our TikTok. Also, Shayla, the people are supporting. We got more subscribers on YouTube. I mean, it's not that much. It was 2, but still, anything is something.
They all count.
Okay, and we finally broke the 9 followers and made it to 10. I was screaming. I was like, yes.
Listen, I'm gonna say an apple a day, a follower a day will get us to the promised land.
And I just want to say my last 2 things real quick, and then my minute will be over.
Yeah.
Rodarius Marcel Green announced his tour dates. Right? The tickets dropped today at 10 o'clock Eastern time. And
PM or AM?
AM, girl. I woke up and my alarm was like, concert.
Did you secure the tickets?
Girl. So I was like, I need to take a page out of Shayla's book because Shayla will go to concerts by herself with nobody. And I love that for her. Like, I feel like a lot of the concerts that I went to, like Nicki, Chris Brown, and everything, like most of my friends are into those people. But I know that not a lot of people like Rod Wave and not a lot of people listen to him or get his music. No shade, Shayla.
No, but I was gonna say, I think a lot of people do like Rod Wave. It's just people in your circle are not also fans.
Right. And so Rebecca secured her ticket, and I'm going by myself on December 3rd. I'm so excited.
I'm happy for you.
With all happiness, there has to be some sadness. Rich homie Quan passed away at the age of 34, guys. My heart broke. Like, I don't know if you remember those Rich homie Quan days, like high school lifestyle. Like, what? Like, those was like,
I feel like it's just so sad how so many people are dying at such a young age. I don't think it has been confirmed or not, but I did see something about like an overdose.
Yeah.
We don't know if that's confirmed or not. I think that's also an upsetting thing when someone does pass away. There's so many speculations, but it's just sad whenever you see someone die so young, so talented. They had kids that are left behind. It's so sad.
And I just want to say this one point. I hate, right? Like when someone dies, it's sad. Everybody has people who love them and people who hate them. And what irritates me the most when someone passes away is those people who say, this is why you need to not hold grudges and you need to talk to the people and mend the fences of people that you don't get along with because life is short. I just want to say, shut up, because we all understand that life is short. We all understand that time, like there's never enough time that we have with people that we feel like, right? But everybody knows that. Everybody is aware of that. And the people who did you wrong that you cut out of your life does not mean that you need to bring them back into your life, regardless of the situation. If you feel like they are null and voided in your life, cut them out. They knew life was short when they did you dirty. They know that life was short when they decided to do whatever they did to you. So I don't care. The same way I feel like when you were standing here, when the sky was blue, is the same way I'm going to feel when you laying in the dirt. Like, that's none of my business. Like, you did what you did, and I'm going to stand on that. Now, if you just don't want to forgive that person because of your own ego and pride, that's your business. And I say, if you feel like there's forgiveness in your heart for that person, then do it. But if you genuinely feel like that person out of your life is null and voided, stand on that. It's okay. It's okay.
And that's on period. Rebecca really felt real strongly about that. But I
so
feel you. I hate when people switch up. If you believe something after, like if you didn't like me before, don't try to act like you like me now. It's like the people that are like, oh, if we were not messing before I passed away, don't try to come to my funeral.
Exactly. And like my thing is, I will like literally, I have written in a document. If I did not like that person, you have a full permission to punch
And
him.
what document? What
Oh, girl,
document are you talking about?
I've planned what my funeral gonna be like, my wedding, baby showers. I planned everything. I got
Where's the document at? Where can I
girl,
find
my
it?
Google Doc. You want it?
Yeah, send it over. I feel like I should know.
Okay, bet. Yeah, no, for real. Because I need you to slide a few people if they decide to, you know.
Slide is crazy. Okay, I thank you for your over a minute weekly
I'm
rundown. It's
sorry.
been a
I'm
busy week. I get it.
okay.
So for my weekly rundown, on Monday I went to the beach and it was super nice. Obviously, the beaches in the US could never compare to the Caribbean, but to the point that you were talking about going to Rod Wave's concert alone, I feel like as you get older, you kind of realize that you miss out on a lot of things if you're waiting to do it with other people. Like, I remember I would be like, oh, well, I want to do this. And I would ask people, and everybody and their mother would say no. So then I would just not do it. And guess what? I would miss out on opportunities. So on Monday, I was like, listen, I want to go to the beach. I asked people, oh, who wants to come? Whoever came, and I loved them down. But I was like set on my mind, like, I am going to go to the beach on Monday, right? Like, I work weekends, my schedule is different. So it was like, Monday or never. And summer's like wrapping up, and I feel like I need at least one beach day. So that was amazing. I'm a water girl. And then I also went to a Thames concert yesterday. Look at my concert, period.
And she went by herself.
And that's that on that. I went by myself. So if you are younger looking at this, or just not anybody, I guess this is not specifically for younger people, but just in general, like if you want to do something, do it. Even if you're going to do it alone, because you're not going to, life is short. Life is so short, and you're going to regret not going to things that you like because my friends couldn't come with me. It
And
is what it is.
And to that point, I feel like I completely agree with you because, like, when I was in, I want to say, like, high school, Rebecca wanted people around her all the time. Like, I wanted people to do things with me. And if nobody would do it with me, then I would just be like, okay, I'm just not going to go. And like you said, you miss out on opportunities, you miss out on experiences. You also never know who you could meet at these places. So It's like, and I would say I'm thankful also because, like, as soon as I got into college, like, I became more independent and I did more on standing alone and doing things by myself. That, like, nowadays I just go to events by myself all the time. Like, I have to cover events, do things by myself. And yesterday when I went to that event, which if you watch this a different day, Thursday, I met this one girl. If you ever see this, Jada, shout out to you. And she gave me some bomb photos. Y'all, do y'all see the material? Hold on, let me put the brightness down. Y'all see the material. You see the material.
Girl, so you trying to say I don't give you good photos?
Shayla, you wasn't with me. Come on.
Well, I take good photos.
Yes, and I posted the photos you just took of me. And you posted the photos I took of you.
We love that for us.
Dad, y'all saw how she was ready to come down my neck? Like,
girl, all right, not too much. I was not getting ready to come down no one's neck. I just wanted to make it known that I too take good photos.
Yes, you do, but Jada was a random that I met. And me and her took each other's photos and it was eaten down. Okay. You never know.
All right. Well, now let's move on to a little bit of not little bit, a serious topic before we talk about the fun petty news. So unfortunately, earlier this week on Wednesday, there was a school shooting in Appalachia High School. The high school was located in Georgia, and 4 people were killed, 2 students and 2 teachers. Here's the photo of them.
It's just so sad. Like, school, I mean, and also in the South, like, they started school like way before. I think they started school like early, like in the middle of August. And it's just like literally school just started for for these students. And like before we get into all the details and everything, when I walked into work, because it was Wednesday. I walked into work and I was just like, I looked at the screen because I turned off all my notifications. I don't get no notifications for news. I got into work, I looked at the screen and I was like, another shooting? School just started. And I
Yeah.
was just sitting there. I was like, yo, I can't imagine being a parent, waking up, eating breakfast with your kids or with your spouse or your mom, dad, whoever the person may be to you. I'm going to school, and less than 2 hours later, you get a call that there's a shooting. What? My heart would drop. That's just so sad. Oh,
It is sad. So, like Rebecca was saying, it was, you know what I'm saying? School hasn't even been in session for like a month. And here is the mugshot of the shooter. It was 14-year-old Colt Gray. He has been charged as an adult with 4 counts of murder. The arrest warrant accuses him of using a semi-automatic assault style rifle in the attack. Now, today, his father, not today, on Thursday, his father was also arrested. And he is facing charges including second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter for letting his son possess a weapon. I think it's, and the thing that, before we even get into all the craziness of this, I think sometimes, well, not sometimes, as Americans, as people that live here, in a sense, I feel like, especially for us young people, we've kind of become desensitized to it because it happens so often. For like all my life, I remember school shootings happening, and I have had, all my school years, I have had massive like shooter drills, and I remember when I would have them, it would be scary because I'm like, why are we doing this? But then as you see school shootings actually happening, you're like, oh my God, well, I will kind of one day have to use this. And I remember when they would like lock down the doors and have us like hide in a closet or under something, when they would bang on the doors, even though I knew it was fake, it was a drill, you still kind of get that like scariness. So I can only imagine, like, I should have said this in the beginning, but like my condolences to not only the family members that are, lost loved ones, but to anyone that experienced that. Because even if you didn't lose a loved one, just knowing that you witnessed, like when they were being escorted to the football field, um, some people, like some students have recounted their stories on TikToks and stuff, and they're like, all we saw was blood on the hallways, bodies. Like that's something, like, how can you walk back into a school which is supposed to be a safe space after seeing something like that?
and to go to your point about also, yes, our condolences go out to everybody who was involved in the situation. Like that should never have been something that y'all experienced. Like I tell people all the time, at the end of the day, people are people. And regardless of how I may feel about certain people, other people, how people feel about groups of people, nobody should ever experience things like that, especially in places where you're supposed to be safe.
Right.
Remember what I said, supposed to be safe. Okay.
Yeah.
And like to go to your point about the drills, like I remember when we were in school, I feel like another problem is like you never think it's going to be you. You never think that you're
Yeah.
going to be the one who's ever involved in those situations. And I was one of those thinkers when I was in school. I was the person who everybody said they would hate to be in a shooting incident with, because all I did was talk. All I did was make noises. All I did is like when the police would come and start banging on the door, all you would hear me is like, Dad, you gonna have to buy me dinner first. Like I was I was the person. And it's just like I feel like, imagine what, like, sometimes I think, I'm like, what if that situation ever was real when I was in school and that happened? Like, Rebecca, there's no jokes. Like, this is literally life or death. Like,
Yeah.
that's literally what it is. Like, you don't know if you're literally gonna wake up in the next morning. You don't know if you're gonna ever see your parents again. You don't know nothing. And it's like being in one of those situations has to be so scary that I don't wish that on nobody. Like, I really don't.
So here's another question. How do you feel about people that feel like the answer to kind of end or lower the number of mass shootings that we have happening, especially in schools, is give teachers guns or increase security, give more people in schools the opportunity or the ability to have guns. How do you feel about that? Because before you give your answer, I completely disagree. More guns does not will never equate to less mass shootings. I think the major problem in America, especially in America, because here's the thing, guns isn't something that only Americans have. Like, there are guns in every country. But you know why? This is my opinion. The reason why I feel like mass shootings are happening at a higher rate in the United States is because a lot of Americans, or our society, is very self-centered. Everything is me, 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 me. You don't invest. Like, the fact that healthcare isn't at least a little bit affordable, the fact that most people don't even know their neighbors for real. All you do is you work your 9 to 5, you spend more time at work. If you don't, have a job, you're just, I feel like a lot of us are like just depressed, not happy in this country. It's very lonely. And so guess what? People try to find communities online. They are in the interwebs where things can become toxic. They feel lonely. We bully people that don't have name brands, or people think they're better because they have money and they have the latest iPhone and this and that. And guess what? Not everybody is as strong. So I think until we fix like those issues, make sure that every school has after school programs, and not only after school programs, but make sure that you have transportation, because guess what? Not everybody has the ability to just have a stay-at-home parent that can take them to soccer practice every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm one of those people. Like, I couldn't get involved in things, not only because I had to work a part-time job, but because who's going to take me? I didn't have a car until I nearly started college. So investing in kids so they don't feel alone. They're not stuck on a screen every day 24/7, and when they do step outside to go to school, they're bullied and they feel alone. Like, let's focus on those things. I'm sorry, I went on a whole spiel, but how do you feel about more guns is the answer?
I think when people say that teachers and stuff need to have guns to stop and lessen the rate of violence to happen in schools, I think I'm a scenario type of person. What if a kid gets really mad and decides to break into the teacher's drawer and shoot people? Or what if we see teachers always, like, when students decide to keep pushing, testing those teachers, they finally snap and shoot the kid? Or, anything could happen. And it's like, when people say, oh, give teachers guns, I'm like, that's like thinking to lower the rate of HIVs and AIDS and stuff like that. Let's give it to everybody. That's not going to help nothing. That's really not going to help anything. It's like, and this is why we talked about politics a few episodes ago and another episode ago. And it's just like, this is why they always say, put the right people in power, because there's people who think like that, where they think when mass shootings happen, the first answer they give is mental health. If mental health is such an issue, right? Why are you not putting the proper counselors in the schools? Why aren't you actually the people who show dangerous behavior? Because y'all have a list of kids who show to have problematic behaviors. Why don't you find ways to get them help? Why don't you do the things that you need to do to keep everybody safe? No, because y'all like to use things as a blanket. And this is why parents now are waking up without their child. This is why mothers and fathers are waking up without their sons, their daughters, and everything like that. Like, y'all aren't helping the issue. You're not. Y'all just
invest in therapy. Invest in therapy. And this is another thing that we're not gonna talk about in this episode, but like, I feel like when mass shootings occur, the only time, or the main time, I don't even think if that's correct grammarly, whatever. That's when my Spanglish be messing me up. But the main point, or the main time that mental issue is used, or mental health is used as an excuse, is when the person is white. Because if, God forbid, this student would have been Black, Latino, or anything other than white, they would have been like, oh, see, this is why we have to close the border. They're sending people from mental illnesses, like all of these crazy things. And I think like it's just sad because like you said, okay, if we're going to say that the reason these things are happening is not because the access to guns, it's because of mental illness, then how about we make therapy, counseling easily accessible? Because I know a lot of times when people try to, look for a therapist, the amount of hurdles you have to go through, if someone is struggling mentally, they're not going to go through those things. Like, if they are not able to get it for free, they are not going to reach out for help because they can't afford it. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. And it breaks my heart because as someone that really wants to become a mother one day, I already stress about everything. Like, I'm an overthinker. I'm just like, I can't even imagine. And I have my niece, right? I have my nieces. Elliot is in kindergarten. Like, I cannot imagine. I get a call on with something like that because we we have to send our kids to school, right? Like, it's not something that you can just not do. Yes, some people have the privilege of being stay-at-home parents, but like the reality is that in order to be able to live decently in America, you need two incomes. So,
and like my last few points, Shayla and I both have talked about like the amount of kids we want, how we can't wait to see our kids grow up. Like, we always think about the good, and the fact that I also have to think about the bad. Like, I send my child to school for these little 8 hours so that I can go to work, so I can make sure that I provide for us and my man provides for us and make sure that we have like a lovely little family.
yeah.
I gotta think about the fact that like my child might not come back to me tomorrow. And like the thing is, I'm a firm believer that parents bury kids, kids bury parents, parents don't bury kids. I am a firm believer in that. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, I remember when we were talking about the DNC and I told you how like they brought up the people who have been victims of mass shootings, who have been
Yeah.
involved in those situations. And to hear that even like some of them who this has happened 5 years ago, 6 years ago or whatever for them,
Mm-hmm.
to hear their voice still break talking about it, like, that's not something
Of
you recover.
course.
Like, you
Yeah.
never recover from that. And like, I remember, this is my last point. I had to take was it anthropology of conflict and violence class, right? And one of the questions was, how do you think we can stop gun violence, right? And like I said, I was like, I think if we are such a gun heavy having society in America, I was like, the only way that I could see that we could rectify the issue is if you limit the kinds of guns that are given. So like if you keep it to a handgun, like a shotgun or like a hunting gun or something like that. Why does somebody need a semi-automatic weapon? Like, I don't, who are you fighting in the streets? What is
Mm-hmm.
wrong with you? Why do you need a military grade weapon? I don't understand. What do you need it for? Who's your op?
Yeah. And if you are gonna have it, like, you just there are people that are like, oh, they use it for hunting, whatever. But I think as parents, and this is something that they're drilling down on, if you are deciding to become a parent and you want to do your hunting and
Mhm.
you have assault style rifles, you need to make sure that you have these things secured. You need to, if you know that your child is suffering through certain things, you need extra security. Like, put it in a storage unit, put it somewhere that you know what I'm saying? Because once you become a parent, that's a responsibility. Like, you cannot think for yourself. And unfortunately, in America, mass shootings are becoming a common thing. So these are things that you have to think about. They shouldn't be
Right.
common.
Right.
But until we actually, it doesn't, when these things happening, these shootings happening, it's not just 1 week of news cycle and we dead it. Until legislation actually happens, as parents, we're like the first line of defense in a sense. But
And
we
like, I hate when everybody's like, oh, the Second Amendment. Okay. But the same people, or the same people who believe that they're forcing you to have a child, like, y'all are forcing me to have a child in a society that literally mass shootings happen on a regular basis. Like, there should not be
yeah.
six mass shootings that happen in a year. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And we need some sort of, like, we need to change something. That's the
And
main
this is
thing.
why I always said if I could hold any position in America, if Rebecca could hold any position in America, I would want to be in charge of punishments because it's too easy to put somebody in jail. It's too easy. Like if people knew,
I don't even think you should end
listen,
that
I'm not gonna
person.
get all the way into it, but if people knew what could potentially happen to them if I was in charge, baby, them animal rights and human rights groups would be after me.
Okay, well, again, we send our condolences. It's super sad, and I hope that these families are giving all the resources that they need in order to be able to, like, it's still the beginning of the school season, so something is gonna have to, they're gonna need resources in order to get their minds
I
right
tell you this.
as much as they can, at
I
least.
tell you this. If that was me and part like a part of that school in any type of way, as if like if I was a student there, if I was a parent or anything, I promise you my child wouldn't be going back to that school.
Mm,
We would have to figure it out because I would be homeschooling my child for the rest of their life.
mm. These are conversations that will need to be held. You get what I'm trying to say. So we're gonna move on. Another topic that has been in the headlines all over TikTok. If you're into, the culture, you have seen all the memes, all the back and forth between Ice Spice and Cleotrapa. So essentially, I feel like if you know, you know. Ice Spice is a rapper, so is Cleotrapa, and Cleotrapa went on a bus tour with Ice Spice, or she joined her for like the US leg of her Y2K tour.
Mm-hmm.
And after the fact, after the US leg tour ended, Cleotrapa went to TikTok and she gave a 6-part series of why they are no longer friends and how this was the bus tour of hell. Okay. I kind of did a little stop match. Well, stop match, people don't know what stop match is. I kind of clipped together some clips to kind of give you a sense of what the issue has been, because mind you, this is like a short version of it. If you want to
Right.
see it all, you got to
And we
go
and
to.
we put the important parts in it so you can get an idea of what we're talking about and what we're going to be reacting to.
Exactly. All righty. So let's get this show on the road. All right. Let me know if you can see it, because you guys know. Can you see? No. Girl, why are you whispering? This is real life.
Because I was like, maybe I'm tripping. I don't know what she's talking about.
Okay, here it is.
Genuinely was trying to help her. Like, I'm like, yo, do you want to just come on this tour? You know what I'm saying? Like, you could just like join, like mad last minute type shit.
It was just given like, oh, let's let Cleo eat, but we gonna give her crumbs. Before I came on tour, I asked her what were the things that I was gonna have to pay for, because this is so last minute. Like, you're only giving me one day to prepare. Like, it's July 30 something and we going on tour August 1st. Like, girl, like literally one day. So I'm just like, what do I have to pay for? Nothing. You're gonna be with me. You're good. You're gonna be with me. So I was like, okay, everything is handled.
You got less than 10,000 listeners, and I'm sharing my stage with you, and you feeling so entitled. Like, you thinking that my peoples that work for me is supposed to work for you too?
End of the show, I put my bag next to her 10 bags and the big black dresser. And yeah, I'm thinking everything is going to be moved like back into the truck and we could, leave, go back to the hotel. I turned around and my bag is still there. My bag was still there. All her bags was gone. I'm just like, why would somebody just leave my bag? Like, I'm like, I asked the security, I'm like, can you take my bag? He said no.
Like, that's so crazy to me. Like, how I'm in the shower, you gon' barge in while I'm butt ass naked, trying to press me about some bags that you gotta carry some bags.
After the show, it kind of gives like a rush vibes because we're trying to like hurry up and get back on the bus. So we're in the hotel room and I have this feeling in my chest. I don't know if anybody else who's a real ass bitch gets this feeling. And it's just a feeling and I'm just like, I have to say something, because if I don't say something, I'm gonna start moving like I don't like her.
We was at the movie theaters. We was siphoning.
So I end up staying with the hairstylist. She let me stay inside her hotel room. Every city that we went to, I stayed with her, and she was mad nice, and it was so fun with her. Like it really just gave like it was just fun. Like it felt like how it was supposed to be with Ice, but she's fucking boring. Like she's boring. She doesn't want to do anything. She doesn't even want to play Uno. Like I don't like. She doesn't want to do anything. The bus rides be bad, boring. It just be boring.
Bitch, you not gonna tell the people how we was at an Italian restaurant and you ate so much fucking food, you fucking vacuum, that the server was like, where did the food go?
Everybody went to a steakhouse and left me, the hairstylist, and the makeup artist. Everybody went to go get a bite, steak, mash, cream corn, spinach. And we didn't have anything. We didn't eat at all. We're trying to figure out how to get a McDonald's, and y'all all ate already. The hairstylist shows me like a menu and stuff. She's like, oh, production and whatever. They're gonna order food for everybody. Pick what you want. I was like, okay, I'll get a chicken salad just like you. Like, I'll just get a chicken salad. Then she shows me like a message where somebody from production is like, Cleo is not a part of the budget. So I'm just like, how am I not a part of the budget, but y'all invited me on tour?
You talking about she ain't let me to the back of her room on her tour bus. She had this big ass room. Bitch, can I play with my pussy one time? In my bed one time? Like, damn, you want to sleep in my bed every day? That's crazy to me.
So she told me to take a bunk on her bus because Riot was coming to the back. Riot's coming, so take a bunk on the bus. I was like, okay, girl, I'm not gonna cock block. You wanna be with your man? Cool, granted.
To leave out so many details is crazy. Like, how you not gonna tell the people, bitch, we was on them rides at the theme park screaming our vocal cords out. Like, to the point where the next day it was hard to perform. Like, bitch, we was having fun. So for you to try to sit here and complain about a chicken salad, it's like you never came to me talking about a chicken salad. What are you really talking about right now? You gonna send me a whole essay after tour? Like you just gonna get off the bus? I don't even know you got off the bus. And you gonna send me an essay with a intro, bodies, and a conclusion?
So when I told her about everything, she literally turned around. Like when I say everything, I told her everything. I'm gonna put it in a screenshot. Honestly, it felt like it could have been a miscommunication here.
You really gonna be friends with somebody for 2 years, but the whole time you feel like they soulless and dark? Like you sound dumb as hell, bitch. If anything, we both need saving. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro?
Her energy, I got to witness this very first hand. I was around her every day, 24/7. I mean, not all the time, because she would go straight to the back into that room. I don't know what's wrong with you, but I should have never let you take my swag. I should have never even gave you a piece of it, because Lord knows that you was wearing bodysuits and Jordans when you first came out. Now all of a sudden it's mini skirts, it's little dresses, and big chunky boots. Like, girl, that's me. It's really gaggy to me that all of a sudden I'm the bum and I'm careerless. When we first met, you told me that it was a full circle moment. How can I turn into a careerless bum because of a hotel room that you didn't tell me that I was gonna pay for? That's my fucking money. That's my money. If I want to do what I
I have
being mute, girl. Not a part of the chicken salad budget.
so many things that is bad for you. She said you vacuum.
Baby, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a vacuum. I feel like, because if you at a restaurant, I'm gonna eat. I'm a vacuum.
Yo.
There's so, mind you, this is like shortened. They are so funny. It's actually insane. So number one, Cleotrapa is funny. Okay, I am so sorry. The fact that she was like, why they took her 11 bags. And she made sure she left her bag next to Ice's 10 bags. And she like, why I turned around and my bag's still there?
Yo, okay, so there's a lot to break down on this, but there was a tweet that Shayla ended up sending me, but I've been seeing like a lot of people have been saying it. It's basically like, so Cleotrapa told Ice how she felt unappreciated as a friend, felt less than, felt embarrassed, and that she didn't feel protected. And Ice Spice said, "Why you ain't tell him you ate mad food at a restaurant?" Yo,
Oh my God. Like,
but
I
no,
feel
like
like I
I
feel like as the head of at the end of the day, this is Ice Spice's tour. And usually, like, if something like this happens, you should try to amend, or like a bit like, oh, I'm sorry you felt this way. It was given none of that. It was like, you a vacuum, you a careerless person, you a bum. And honestly, I'm with Cleotrapa. If I'm a bum, why did you try to invite me to come with you on the
but the
tour?
thing is, right? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. And another point is that I feel like if you didn't hear it at the top, is the fact that she invited Cleotrapa to join her on her tour literally a day before the tour happened. So it's like, you already giving me 0 days to prepare. You telling me, oh yeah, no, everything gonna be on me, we good. And then when I want to order a salad, you on some, or maybe it wasn't her, it was her production team, but her production team wouldn't have said, oh, she not a part of the budget for a
And like,
chicken salad.
girl. And my thing is, with everything that, you know, if you watch the parts or know the full story of everything like that, and not just the breakdown that we played, from they basically both were saying the same stuff, but it's their interpretations of what happened that are always so different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my problem with the whole thing is that, like, listen, I understand there's a time and place of stuff, but like, if Ice Spice is always around people, right? And Cleotrapa felt like the only time I could talk to you was when you were in the shower, for me to tell you, you invited me on this tour, right? You wanted me to be a part of everything. You wanted me, regardless if you think I'm a bigger artist, a smaller artist, whatever, you invited me.
Hello.
Right? You told me with your own words that nothing is going to, I don't have to worry about nothing. So if I have to worry about nothing, that automatically means that I am a part of the production budget. You told me I had to bring nothing. So for her to be bothered by the fact that, like, Cleotrapa felt some type of way about that is weird within itself, because it's like, if I'm telling you I don't feel protected, I don't feel safe, like I don't feel comfortable being here, because everyone who's around you, regardless of what you told me, everyone around me and around you and everything, like how you're treating me, makes me feel like I was just an afterthought and I'm meant to feel like that.
Yeah,
How
it's
she
like
said
I'm
in
a
the video,
bother.
yeah, like, you brought me here. I didn't ask to be here. You brought me. And it's like, for you to go out of your way to purposely misunderstand everything that I'm trying to explain to you is crazy.
And I
It's
feel like,
crazy.
yeah, and I feel like Cleotrapa tried all aspects, right? Like, so she tried to, when they were in Philly, she tried to address the issue head on, right? So when, as Cleotrapa was explaining, she's like, when we're on a bus tour, as soon as we get off stage, we try to, we go back to the hotel, we change, and everything is a rush, right? So that's why she budged into the room while Ice Spice was butt naked showering, because they're like, push it, like, we got to get ready to get back on the bus and on the tour. So she tried to address the issue, and she was like, oh, well, these people are getting a flat rate. And Cleotrapa was like, if money is the issue, then let me know and I'll pay them more to carry my bags, because at the end of the day, being an artist depends on your image as well, right? So she's like, when I step outside, I don't want to be with like fight with my luggage, because people are gonna want me to take photos or whatever, and that's just like, that's not good for the image.
Exactly.
And then also, it's like, if someone is getting paid a flat rate, if you already carrying 10 luggages, I'm sure one extra one is not that big of a deal.
Like, the hourly rate means that you're working for that time, and that my bag is a part of that job. So, baby, pick it up. Oh, she ain't.
But obviously, respectfully, that's the first thing. Cleotrapa tried to address her, that, like, as the issue was happening, and then after that, Ice Spice started to move weird. So then Cleotrapa was spending time with the hairstylist, and the hairstylist was like, doing fun things. She's like, damn, Ice Spice don't even want to play Uno with your girl. Like, what's tea with that? You don't want to do nothing. But then, like you said, Ice Spice is saying, Why didn't you tell them we was screaming on a ride so
It's like
hard that I
apples
couldn't?
to oranges.
Yeah, is it was giving weird. Also, the part that took me out is the bodysuits and Jordans. He said you was wearing bodysuits and Jordans before you met me.
No.
So
And
if anything, I'm influencing you. So tread lightly.
And well, Shayla and I were like talking about this whole story. Like you asked me this one question, and I can't wait to hear your take on it. I think the problem here also is that there's some people you just cannot mix friends and business with, right? So for you, right? Do you think it's okay to mix friends with business?
I feel like it's very hard. It's very, very, very hard. And the percent that it will work is probably like 5 out of 100%. I'm not gonna, never say never, but I feel like sometimes it can like break up your friendship, right? Because I feel like business is business, and sometimes you're gonna have to come correct in order for your business to do great. I'm not saying be disrespectful, but like if you're late, especially me, I can't speak for other people, but Rebecca knows I hate when people are not on time. I mean, it's actually funny saying that because here we are, like we have a podcast together, but I think there needs to be a yin and yang type of thing, right? Like Rebecca understands that there's certain things that I'm not gonna be pushed over on, and it's like we need to be on time, things need to be ready, and I know there's certain things that Rebecca feels strongly about, so I am willing to it's a give and take type of situation. So no, I don't think working with friends and mixing business with friendships is a good thing, because it will most likely not end well, and sometimes you have to address things head on, and at the end of the day, that may put a wedge on the friendship.
I think what it is also is that a lot of times when people, I feel like it's the same way when people like husband and wives or, whatever, marriages go into business.
Mm-hmm.
The main focus point and the main, like the core of the whole thing is the fact that there is a friendship, right? There's some type of relationship dynamic that is the core of why we thought that we could do this business. Business is business, but the core is always friendship. So like you said, I mean, it's ironic that we're talking about this because you and I have a whole project
So
together.
this is like our 5th time trying. So
but
battles have to be
at the same time, we've always tried to do it with others. We've never
right.
just did it with you and I.
Yeah.
And I think what it is also is that, like you mentioned, yin and yang. Shayla and I have an understanding about each other. I know what Shayla likes, and Shayla knows what I like. Mm-hmm. I know what ticks her off, and she knows what ticks me off. But it's like, with everything that we know about each other, we also understand each other's strengths and weaknesses, right? Yeah. Where I slack, Shayla picks up on it. Where Shayla may not be best at, I pick up on. But that's because we have an understanding. And the thing is also in my opinion, regardless of what happens in the business, the love I have for Shayla is genuine. And let's say this doesn't work out, I will always want the best for Shayla. I will only, any project she starts after this, anything that she does, personal projects with or without me, I would want her to win. And I think that's what it is also. Like she, with Cleotrapa and Ice Spice, she talking about that she's a bum, she's this, it's that. You don't
I would never say nothing like that. And I think that's how it shows you're not a real friend, because number one, I think she mentioned like they've only been friends for 2 years. But to your point, I think sometimes this is another thing. When people are mad, they say how they really feel. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And the fact that you're, regardless of, if what Cleotrapa was saying was not true, you calling someone a bum, careerless, after you invited them on tour with you, and to not to pick sides, but a true friend, if you're calling me up a day before the tour, a true friend will be like, you know what? Despite you telling me last minute, despite me feeling like plato de segunda mesa, which translates to despite me feeling like, a plate of a second table, because you ain't tell me when you was planning this tour months ago, I'ma go because I feel like we're friends and I'ma support you and your career. You know what I'm saying? And then we go through this. I'm trying to tell you how I feel, and you dismiss everything. It's kind of like a true friend would try to see the other side a little bit, not call me a bum.
And then the thing is, for her to start off with like, I got my platform and you want me to use my platform to help you. What did you bring her on the tour for?
She's a smaller artist. Hello. Like this is another point that we didn't include in the videos, but she's like, when the flyers were coming out, my name wasn't even in none of the flowers. When they were promoting the tour, my name was not even a part of none of the promotion flyers. And then when I made my own flyer and I posted it on social media, you couldn't even reshare it. So I feel like this is something that's understood. When if you're bringing on a smaller artist, of course they're thinking that the point is because you love them so much or you support them, you're trying to grow their audience. So for you to like, this is like a trigger. If I do something for you, do not try to turn around and be like, oh, well, I did this for you, so you need to do this for me. No. If you're a true friend, you do something without expecting anything back. Okay, if you want to give $100 gifts to people, don't do it because, oh, well, if I give her this $100, bracelet, she gonna give me a $200 bracelet back. Like, I
agree, but I also feel like there also needs to be some type of reciprocation, and that does not mean monetarily. Like, like that just means like if Shayla gets me something for Christmas that's like super lavish and expensive, like whatever I give her, I know she's gonna be grateful. But for her birthday, I'ma show out, like, but there's just like a give and take, right? And there's also an understanding. And like I said before, and I'm gonna keep saying it, is that the same way I want to win, I have that same urge for my friends. And it's like, and I know that I don't think Ice Spice and Cleotrapa are going to be friends again after this. And I hope they don't, because clearly 2 different mindsets. But like, even with people who I'm not friends with no more, I tell people all the time, like, I always want the best for everyone, right? Depending on how we ended things. If we ended things bad, I really don't care what happens to you. But if there's still some type of love that was there and you and I just don't rock with each other, I will always want the best for you. And I feel like if the only way I think that Ice Spice and Cleotrapa could like end this amicably.
Girl, you trying to use these AP words.
Girl, I could have
said it on a nice way. Let's use regular
terms. Nicely. It's to just say, I wish you the best. Clearly, this wasn't the best opportunity for us both, and keep it at that and keep it pushing, because clearly that whole experience, Cleotrapa better than me though, because after the first weird vibe, no, me, I'ma leave. One thing about
I'm sure the reason why she didn't do it is I'm sure maybe there was a contract involved. And if there was not, I feel like also at the end of the day, she said it. She had to charge it to the game. She had to charge it to the game because she is the smaller artist. So, this. In our industry, sometimes we have to swallow stuff that we do not like for, in honor of the game, to grow in the business. But we got to move on to the next topic. But I have to say, I am a part of the vacuum community. Don't invite me to eat and then be mad when I show up and eat. Because why we at the restaurant for?
Somebody in the comments was like, yeah, she was a vacuum. She didn't know what she was going to eat again.
Oh, dead ass. If I'm not a part of the budget to get the chicken salad, yes, when you take me to the Italian restaurant, I will be a vacuum, and it's like hibernating. I'm preparing for the hibernation. Period.
I don't
know. We gotta move on to the next topic.
Salad ever again.
Let's move on to the next topic, sis, because we could talk about this forever.
No facts. So our next topic, I wanted to talk about this because I just anyway. So Queen and Clarence, if you don't know who Queen and Clarence are, if you are OG like me, then you remember Queen and Chris. Okay.
On the YouTube.
On YouTube, that was like one of the prime YouTube couples who started this stuff. Okay. Mm-hmm. So Queen and Clarence, because Queen and Chris are no longer. So Queen and Clarence basically sparked the whole thing on social media because Queen has always wanted, she's always wanted a ring, right? We all want to feel like,
if you like it, then you better put a ring on it. If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So like we know that she's made YouTube videos before where she's like, yeah, like I want to marry Chris, like not Chris. Whoa. She's made YouTube videos saying she wants to marry Clarence. Okay. So he's always said, like, yeah, I'm gonna propose to her. He'll call her my wife and stuff like that. But clearly, after I believe they've been together for 5 or 6 years, there's no ring in sight yet. Right. And I don't believe in rushing people, but one thing social media gonna do is remind you of what's not coming. Okay. So because they just celebrated their anniversary, and the reason why this sparked is because there was a video also where like he gave her a gift for their anniversary in a box. And in the box, like it looks like it's gonna be a wedding ring. She opened that box, it was a pair of earrings. Embarrassing. Like, yeah, you could just automatically see the disappointment on her face. Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. So a quick little summary. So Queen and Clarence recently stirred up engagement rumors after sharing like footage from their Mexico vacation, where Queen basically had a sign that says bride to be, like a little banner, and that she was holding across her chest, right?
Yeah.
So fans were all thinking that she had like a secret proposal, that he finally did it. And then she cleared everything up and basically said that this is like, they were clearly trolling. They're basically trolling.
But the reason why they were trolling is because Chris has been poking the bear, and he has been posting videos about how, oh, well, if someone likes you, they know when they, like, it doesn't take this long to know when you want to marry
Which
somebody.
is ironic because like Shayla's gonna end up saying like,
no, don't say what I'm gonna say.
You're right, my fault. So like he takes any opportunity to dig at Queen whenever he can get that dig in. So her response was like, oh, this is clearly trolling, but even if it was real, look at how the people find something negative regardless. That's why I'm going to the courthouse. But it's like, I get that, but she also has ended up saying that she's not even focused on marriage and stuff like that. And I don't believe that, because like I know every girl, well, not every girl, most girls dream about their wedding day, dream about wearing the dress, walking down the aisle, seeing everybody celebrate with them. And it's just like, when you have expressed that multiple times, it's kind of hard for me to believe that one day you just woke up and was like, yeah, I'm not really worried about it no more. You sure? And so, as Shayla mentioned, Chris has been on his little rampage. He has made video after video talking about the situation and making sure that he can take any dig that he can. So Queen finally responded to basically him responding. So she basically said, while he's laughing at me, I hope I'm sorry. She said, while he's laughing at me, I hope this coin he making off my name help out a little bit.
That part.
Some of his son's expenses, like, dang. And so she wrote, like Ice Spice said, a beginning, bodies, and ending.
She wrote an essay.
Okay, a whole essay. And then she ended up by saying, like, he needs to seek the God who he stopped believing in. And if you remember in their older videos with Queen and Chris, they used to talk about a lot about like God, praying together and stuff like that. And whenever their relationship started to go south, so did the belief in God and stuff like that. But Queen recently just started talking about how she started getting back into it, God and everything like that. So my whole thing is, Chris, you're not in their relationship. Regardless of what other people are saying, that is the mother of your child. Why are you actively going out of your way to embarrass her more than she already feels embarrassed whenever she posts anything on social media? You know what I mean?
Yeah, my 2 cents on this. I also was a big YouTube girly. I still am, but like back then, YouTube couples was like a big thing, and now they're all coming out to be toxic and they're broken up, whatever.
Okay.
But I think, yes, like you said, I do think Queen, yes, she wants the ring, but it's like I feel like it's a double-edged sword because she did build her community, I feel like, because of YouTube and people talking about her life, right? So people feel entitled to give their opinions, and because you have mentioned the fact that you do want to be a wife, people are going to be on that all the time. So I feel like the reason why she's saying that she doesn't want to be married anymore is because she's like, hop off me. You know what I'm saying? And also, it's like, it's none of your business. Like, she's like, I prefer, because she said this in this essay that she wrote. She's like, I prefer not being married and being a wife, but in a toxic relationship, like I was with you, Chris. And another point, Chris, you need to hop off me, get a job, So you are able to raise your son. Focus on your son. The only thing you should be talking about is your son. Get my name out your mouth. And this is, I honestly feel like if I talk to you, if we were dating, if you were my ex, unless we have a kid, which is why I feel like they still talk, I'm like, I don't need to be talking to you. We're done for a reason. And that's just that. Like, I understand there are some people when they break up, they're still like, oh, we're still cordial. If we ended, we ended. And like, if I had a relationship with you, I can't be on some, oh yeah, but we're just friends. That man clearly still loves Queen. And Queen is now, her career is booming, her music is booming. And he mad that he's still in the same place he was when they were together.
Exactly.
Same thing, period.
He not going nowhere. Like, he truly is clout chasing. And like she said, like, you trying to get to a bag off my name, because when we had our YouTube channel, that's how you was getting your money, through me, with me. Now you don't have that no more. So any chance that you feel like you can have a dig at me, you gonna do that. And my whole thing is also is like to your point where you said double-edged sword. Yes, like, she has made her money off of people commenting and basically talking about her life. Yeah. But my whole thing is like, I would hate to always go on social media and be reminded of the shortcomings, like of the fact that like you always wanted that ring and you're nowhere close to getting it, because clearly he has not shown an interest in doing that or giving you that. But everything happens in its own time. I can't tell somebody when they're ready for marriage, and I can't tell you when somebody should be ready for marriage, and if he even wants to marry her. Like, I'm not in that relationship. Chris, shut up. That's all I got.
And my last point is like, is none of your business. I think sometimes we get so invested in other people's lives. Stop it. Like, stop it. You're not dating people. Okay, once they get married, how's that gonna impact your life? You still gonna be broke if you was broke. If you was rich, you'll be rich. If you was single, you still gonna be single, even if they get engaged.
Your man was cheating on you, and you worried about her man for what?
And I think also, like, when you are a public figure, unfortunately, you gotta be like butter and let things slide off of you.
But you see, I'm the type of person, I would let things slide, but I'm not letting that too much roll off my back. You're not about to keep throwing.
Yeah, speak up on it, but just know, stand your ground, and it is what it is. But let's go to the wind down. Yes. The wind down portion.
Yes, Shayla. So we kind of talked about it, but I just wanted to ask this question because I think it's like really interesting, because with friendships, we all see different things, and we all have different things that we see in friendships that we just know we hate. So the question is, what are some of your friendship turnoffs? Like, what turns you off when it comes to certain friendships?
Lying, people talking behind my back. Ooh. I'm such an honest, blunt person. If I have a problem with you, trust and believe. I'm gonna text you right there and then. I'm not even gonna wait till tomorrow, the day after. If I see something that's bothering me, I'm gonna be like Cleotrapa. I'm gonna bust into the bathroom while you in the shower and be like, "Oh, hey, Rebecca, what you did earlier pissed me off." You know what I'm saying? I hate when people lie, speak behind my back. Mm-hmm. Also, I'm a big like be on time person. If every time we go out you're late, and that's something that a lot of my friends don't take serious. They're always late, but I've learned to just, again, with friendships, it's a give and take situation. So now I too try to be late whenever they plan something, but I'm very big on like, or this is another thing that people love to do to me, and I just swallow it at times. They say that they're going to do plans and then bail out last minutes. If we plan something, you're like, oh, well, now I got to get my nails done at 5. But you been knew that we had to do this at 3. I mean, but you been knew we had to do this at 5. So why would you schedule something at 5?
Shade.
I'm direct. You saw what I just said. If we plan something, don't, because you know how that makes me feel. It's like, well, clearly you felt like what you had to do was more important than what we had planned, or that, which is fine. Life happens, but I feel like I'm more important than nails, but that's just me.
First off, let's get into the set. Y'all see that?
All right, what's yours? Because we're reaching that hour mark and we gotta go.
So for me, I would say my friendship turn off. So like people who are like have no sense of like independence, like they depend on me to be there for every single thing and have no sense of like doing things by themselves. Like we talked about that earlier, and that's something I had to learn, and I feel like everybody has to learn. But when you catch an attitude with me because I can't be there all the time because I have my own life, that's kind of weird. Focus on yourself. People who always have something wrong, if you can never find any moment or sense of happiness, bro, come on. Like life is not that bad for you to always be unhappy. Come on.
Rebecca said, I'm gonna stop asking how you doing because I already know what the answer is about to be.
At this point, like it's like, you can't do nothing right.
Not one spark of happiness.
Ever. And I would say the last thing I would say is that people who Shayla knows me. I'm the type of person who like I say things, I'm a very jokey person, but at the same time, I'm very blunt. And the way I say certain things, Shayla's like, Rebecca, you didn't have to say it like that. But that's just how like, and I hate people who are like, that's just how I am. But like, there's just sometimes I don't realize I do it. Like Shayla and I were in an Uber and I made this one joke and I had to stop because I was like,
no, you said it. You just realized after the fact.
I was like, yeah. It's just like, have that open communication with me. If you feel some type of way about something, let me know. But I'm also the type of person that like, if I tell you that wasn't my intentions, you're not going to get an I'm sorry out of me, because if that wasn't my intentions, I genuinely did not mean that. And I will tell you, I'm sorry that you felt that way. But because that's not what my intentions were, I'm not about to say I'm sorry for a whole situation that was simply a misunderstanding. That's just that. You felt some type of way. I didn't, and I apologize. You felt that way.
Some people don't like that type of apology, but that's neither here nor there. We hope you enjoyed our wind down of this week. I feel like this episode was really, 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 really good. We talked about a lot of things. We hope you enjoyed it as well. Comment down below
Definitely.
about any of the topics. We're here for all of them. If you haven't followed us, go ahead.
I was gonna say follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Too Much SB. Also, subscribe to the channel. Why watch and not subscribe?
Hello.
Okay. And now I'm not trying to toot our own horns, but Shayla and I put a lot of work into these social edits and everything. So please support. And if you did get to the end of this video, we love you.
We love you. I feel like this is so cringy. Oh my God, no. Before we leave, I have to play this video because I added it. Look at Rebecca's face. I want a contrast to the Chris and Queen thing about how Chris is trying to get clout from her. Okay, let me rephrase this because we need this for a cute little social clip. Instead of being like Chris and trying to gain clout from your ex-wife, instead of not supporting, being a hater, be more like this. Bring it on! We did it! I love them down.
I love that.
Who they are, it is Tara Woodhull and Hunter Woodhull. Tara just won a gold in the Paris Olympics for long jump. And when Tara won this gold, this man was in tears. Hunter was crying. Like, it was something that, I cry all the time. I was like in tears. I'm like, oh my God, he's so proud of, like, so supportive, always talking beautifully about his wife. They also have a YouTube channel, like head over heels for his wife. And now he won a gold medal in the Paralympics in the 400-meter race. And if it's just like when you do good and you're not a hater, and instead of pushing down, like some men are very insecure. And so when their wife is doing good, they kind of feel like, they're haters. Don't be like that. Be more like Hunter. Support your wife.
Like I said, when you really love somebody and you want the best for them, when they win, you win, and you're going to always be happy for them. And my last point, Rebecca right here, is an insecure, controlling man's worst nightmare. So, baby, keep that away from me. And with that, thanks, y'all. for watching.
Bye. See you next Friday.